Hello, insomniacs, fellow night owls. Or maybe you're an overnight driver, maybe security somewhere, or at the plant. Anyone pulling the graveyard. Welcome to the night shift. Happy Halloween, listeners and or watchers. Welcome back or welcome to the Night Shift volumes, where I read stories from people that have had things happen to them on their overnight jobs. So if you're ready, we'll begin. The gas station stood like a sentinel on the edge of town, its flickering neon sign casting eerie shadows against the cracked pavement. It was Halloween night, and while families were out trick-or-treating, third shift attendant Jess was preparing for another long, quiet shift. As the clock struck midnight, a chill swept through the station. Jess rubbed her arms, glancing around the empty lot. She worked the graveyard shift before, but there was something unsettling about tonight. The usual hum of the pumps seemed oddly muted, and the flickering lights made her feel as though someone or something was watching. The door swung open, and a gust of wind swept through, sending a chill down her spine. She glanced at the entrance, expecting to see a late-night customer, but the lot remained empty. Shaking off the unease, she returned to her phone, scrolling through messages and keeping one eye on the dimly lit convenience store. Around 1 a.m., the first strange occurrence happened. The old radio behind the counter, which only played static on nights like this, suddenly crackled to life. A low, distorted voice whispered, "Help me." Jess froze, heart racing. She looked around, half expecting to see someone standing in the aisles, but the store was still deserted. Trying to brush it off as a trick of her imagination, she stepped outside for a breath of fresh air. The parking lot felt different, thicker somehow, as if the shadows were alive. The moon hung low, casting ghostly silhouettes against the pumps, but just then she noticed something out of the corner of her eye. A figure near the back of the station, flickering in and out like a faulty light bulb. "Hey!" Jess called out, her voice trembling. No response. She approached cautiously, her footsteps echoing against the concrete. As she neared, the figure seemed to dissipate into darkness, leaving behind an overwhelming sense of dread. Shaking her head in disbelief, Jess returned inside, locking the door behind her. The radio crackled again, louder this time, and the voice returned clearer. "I'm here." She jumped back, eyes wide. Was this a prank? A Halloween joke? But the station was far from bustling tonight, and she was completely alone. Panic started setting in, and she picked up her phone to call her manager, but found she had no signal. The lights flickered once more, plunging her into momentary darkness, before returning to their usual state. As the clock approached 2 a.m., the air grew colder, and the shadows seemed to deepen. Just then, the front door swung open again, slamming against the wall with a force that sent her heart racing. "Who's there?" Jess shouted, her voice wavering. No answer, but the sensation of being watched intensified. She hurried to the counter, gripping the register like a lifeline. Then, from the corner of her eye, she saw it. A small, translucent figure of a child, dressed in tattered clothes, standing by the candy aisle. The child looked lost, eyes wide and pleading. Jess's breath caught in her throat. Are you okay?" she managed to ask, her instinct to help overwhelming her fear. The child pointed toward the back of the store, and Jess felt an inexplicable urge to follow. With cautious steps, she approached the darkened aisle. She turned the corner. A cold draft swept past her, and the figure was gone, and in its place lay a small, dusty toy, a ghostly white teddy bear. Suddenly, the radio blared to life again, now filled with frantic whispers. "Help me, find me." The air around her thickened, and the lights flickered ominously. Jessa's heart raced as she realized the whispers were coming from the bear. In a moment of bravery, she picked up the toy. Its surface was oddly warm in the chill of the air. "What do you need?" she whispered, half expecting an answer. Instead, a vision flooded her mind, a memory of a gas station long ago of a child who had gone missing on Halloween night. Understanding dawned on her. This was not just a haunting. It was a plea for closure. "I'll help you," she vowed, clutching the bear tightly. "I promise." As she set the bear back down, the atmosphere shifted. Whispers faded, chill lifted, flickering lights steadied. And for the first time that night, Jess felt a sense of calm wash over her. As dawn broke, painting the sky in soft hues of orange and pink and pastel blues, Jess stood outside the gas station, watching the first rays of light chase away shadows. The station felt different now, lighter, almost liberated. The child's spirit had found peace, and she'd been the one to help. With a sigh of relief, she knew she'd never forget this Halloween night, or the little ghost who had reminded her that sometimes, even the darkest places, hold on to the light of hope. Thank you for listening and or watching, and you have a great night at work. Happy Halloween.